The following video was recorded on May 17, 2017 at Mark D'Antonio's home, where he has his workshop and also an observatory in his front yard. Those that attended were Paul and Keith of P&K Space Imaging, Heidi from the UK, and Eric from Boston, as well as myself. It was stunning to see, when you're there, to see the actual observatory itself with the equipment inside. Also to go into his home, where it's just an amazing setup. His office looks like a destroyer. His workshop is massive. There's all types of artifacts, whether they're fossils or from that you can go to 3D printers. So it was just amazing. You got to just watch this video to get a real idea of what's going on, what this man does. So I hope you enjoy it.
Oh no, that's different. No. I've got that's
okay.
That's
recording.
You're talking about the Sony.
Gotta take the. It would help if I take that off.
When you take the lens out,
and there's the observatory.
That's what so many people say. Come on,
so now we're gonna zoom into the observatory.
Yeah. No, but I'll tell you, you can zoom in on the moon.
There's the observatory.
You can fill the whole view.
Beautiful.
In fact, zoom in on a small quadrant.
So we are recording, and we're here with everyone.
The way that
there's Paul, Keith, and
it's
Paul right here of P&K Space Imaging, and also Mark D'Antonio, my friend Eric, who's Brooklyn State Director of Massachusetts, and Heidi, who's here from the UK. So we're all hanging out here.
I have a Sony.
It moves like this. It moves like this.
And again, there's the observatory.
And you take the picture and it freezes there for a second.
Right.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah. The only problem.
Beautiful country.
When you're all the way zoomed in,
it's hard to control.
You have to.
And he's like right over a ridge, so he's got perfect skies here for observation. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's stunning.
And that's why I see how many cases a month where people
so,
have little things.
Yeah, it's awesome here.
Pressing the shutter.
I do have, I
beautiful, and like I said, there's the observatory.
2 years ago. And I wanted to show you a clip of.
All right, so we'll be back.
Left is an infrared clear.
Wow, this is so cool. This is Mark's workshop,
Mark,
everyone.
I'm gonna have to send you some shots of my
He's got
planes.
the planes
I've got some
hanging
huge
here.
ones. And some big helicopters too.
Yeah,
I got one.
He's
boys with toys.
yeah, that's exactly. There's his drones.
These two are. And both.
He's got the drones over here.
Just
a big sub over here.
It's an agricultural sprayer plane.
And they're easy to fly the top wing like that. Yeah.
Well, it's not a top wing; it's a low wing.
Okay, so there's the sub.
Yeah, the wing's going.
Yeah, I see.
What is a
forward giant telescope?
That's actually a low wing.
We have to figure out something now for Saturday night. You might have to use my telescope.
On the bottom. Okay. And didn't account for the
weight. You can play with it. You can, yeah.
Off, I stalled and it fell onto the GoPro, and it cracked things. And within like an hour, I was back in the air.
We'll still get early.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, yeah.
The GoPro still work?
Yeah.
Mark, is there any?
Get the video.
This sub, is there a replica of any specific?
Oh.
That's a Gunther Preen's Bullet Flow, and that was from that was the first fully operational submarine that I made.
Wow.
Nice. That one dives and surfaces, has ballast tanks.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, and there's another sub behind it that all works. That was from somebody else, but that's the one I made. This over here, which is hiding behind the shipping stuff, this is a operational replica of the Alvin, the DSV Alvin that's found in Titanic. But this is the 1975 version of it. And see, this is operational too. And if I slide the front off, you can see there's a diver's dry box in here, and there's a full host of electronics. These propellers turn and operate, and that whole prop in the back swings around.
So that's fully operational?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
And then this, it actually separates at the exact same line that the real one does.
Wow.
So I didn't compromise.
No.
This has been used in 2 miniseries so far, and it's like as soon as they found out that I got the Alvin, and they took me to London too. I went to London to do a miniseries there.
Wow.
Something like that, a kit, or did you go from scratch?
This one was from scratch, but then I made it into a kit, which I got about 100 of them, all over the world. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, you just let me know when you need an assistant.
I'll set up everything. You can just.
Well, you gotta better get ready to
relax.
You're gonna might have to move west because he's going to Arizona.
So this is my office. Since I do a lot of Navy work, I figured if I got to work in it, I want it to look it.
Yeah.
You know. So
This is neat.
those are real portholes for windows because you know those came from a destroyer that sunk. Wow. Oh yeah, that used to work until my youngest son's
So
friend.
this is his
Way too much.
office here.
I wish I got the time you have.
Well, you
He's
know
got
what?
it
Town wouldn't let me put the real
to
hatch.
replicate
And I
a
wanted to put
battleship.
real hatch.
Really? You permitted this?
This is awesome.
No, they didn't.
No, I mean-
they wouldn't
Isn't
let
it?
me. I had to
Yeah,
make
it's-
this.
Yeah, but I mean, you permitted
Unbelievable.
this.
He can go over
Just
the
made it look
details.
just like it.
Was this open
Everything
down
from
here
the rivet
before
Even the
you
hatch.
bought the house?
Concrete.
He's got the hatch over there.
Oh, it was just a basement.
Oh yeah, this hatch over here. Yeah, this is
Please
marked.
tell me because in the next room.
It's no, yeah, fine.
That'd be fun.
It's marked cold storage for a reason.
No.
Oh, nice. Nice refrigerator.
It even has the big block of ice like you find on
Cool.
destroyers and
Yep.
stuff. This is actually a destroyer mock-up.
A destroyer. There you go.
So these are weld beads. These are the rivets, and I put them together in a way that isn't right. And I kind of did that sort of as a tongue-in-cheek joke because you don't have rivets over a weld bead, but
It's actually like caulking, right?
it is caulking.
Yeah.
But I practiced to make what they call that stack of nickels look with welds,
Yeah.
and you can see that some of them were successful and some of them were less successful. But that's all by going.
The progression of someone's welding.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, this is all sheetrock.
Yeah, what are the actual rivet things?
Those are resin castings that I made. I actually have. I made a. Let's see here. You're insane now.
Made a die.
Well, these are the nut and bolt castings that you see for the nuts and bolts and the I-beams.
So that's the casting for the for the nut and bolts up here.
There, look at
This is a
that.
section of the I-beams. That's that MDF.
Wow,
And then let's see.
that is so cool.
It's fun.
That is so
See
cool.
Bill's next project now.
Nope.
And this is the this is the master I made for the bolts, nuts and bolts. So I took a real one, made a mold of it, and then cast it several times and did two sizes, and then made a mold of it, which is what you got. And then these are the rivets. So,
Wow,
you just cast a bunch of them at a time in the resin.
that is so cool.
Yeah. Fill them
That
up.
is so
Top
cool.
'em off.
Yeah, like someone making candies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it looks like they're heavy, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
right.
the idea. And when I routed them to make the edges, I made sure that the router went wonky a little bit just to get
Oh,
this
he's got the.
that look that wasn't quite right along the edges, and it shows on the edges. You can see
Looks like he's got the 3D printer working on something.
many patches there. You see the darker gray? Yeah. That's
That
like
is
different
so
wind,
cool.
Different block paint.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
End up being darker.
Yeah.
And if you look around,
Really went for
you oh, I did. You can see that the gloss pattern varies.
See, there's more
And that has to
portals.
do with the fact
Port
that sometimes
holes.
they paint this side but not that. So you can see that there's,
And you've been to my mall.
Awesome.
You've been to my mall.
Attention to detail.
There's a bloody hook.
that's what I'm hired to do.
What do you
So this is his office, everyone. Mark D'Antonio's
That's actually
office.
Eudoxus crater. Okay, now I got
He's got the 3D printer
I
going.
know, he's printing a crater.
Is it?
Here, Mark, check this out.
Yeah.
Figures.
Geo-mapped crater.
Look at that.
Maybe you kind of sent this to you before. I don't know.
That's outrageous. Yeah.
Oh, let me
Make it-
see.
Yeah, check it out.
Right.
I gotta get that on film.
Yeah, you should be filming.
I should be.
I think Dominic's got it.
I figured everybody else had the
But you
camera.
know what? I can always give you everything
Yeah,
that I'm
well, it
recording
was out of
anyway.
focus, which
I've got a friend in over in California. He's got 6 3D printers. He's obsessed.
Wow.
Obsessed with
this
them.
is with power reactor. Usually everything's in focus.
Well, that means it was really close, which means it probably could have been literally a plastic bag, a model plastic bag.
Oh, come
I'm
on.
not kidding.
Up in the atmosphere.
Well, not even that high.
Absolutely
Okay, so now I'm gonna switch over and we're gonna go to YouTube. Or we'll try YouTube, so I'll be back.
Yeah, well, the Zoom.
Okay, so this is Mark's workshop. And this is where all his machinery is. As you can see, This is where he sprays them and has his work table. That's his old 3D printer up there, as you can see it. So now this is where all the model work is done.
And
Thank you.
They love when you do visual effects.
All right.
In fact,
So
this is actually the moon.
Now I see.
Okay, this is the moon set. Okay, it's upside down because you know.
He has a Pythagoras.
You see, it's got.
I'm gonna find it.
It's got you see, you've got the rocks in the foreground here. That's what the camera.
And you made it look almost real too, didn't you?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, it looked like the real thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's
so
amazing how they do it.
when we put the lunar module back there, and the lunar module was this big, and it was an exact, really highly detailed replica. All right, and then in the foreground up there, we put astronauts that were this big. Okay, well, I had one, and then by the lunar module, I had one this big.
Then you did the light source, right?
Right.
I think.
And this is called a forced perspective set.
Yeah.
And I was able to show when the camera's down low, and this is debating, debunking, and destroying the moon hoaxers, okay? I think it was a hoax. When the camera's down low, the one single light in the distance, okay? The shadows are going all the wrong way. Why is that? Because they're going through all the undulating craters and everything. So they go down the slope and they seem to change direction.
Yeah.
But then they take the camera and go right up over the top and look down. Continuous shot. And they're all parallel, as they should be.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah, I saw
done.
that shot.
You know, done. You know. So we did the Enceladus thing here. This was cool because they wanted to show the geysers. What I don't have is my model I made that actually shows the actual flexing of the moon. That one.
What season was it that you did that? Did they do that show? Was that the first
It
season?
might have been season 1 where I did the
Season one?
Enceladus thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I want to check that one out.
Yeah, it was a good season.
What, hang on one?
Oh no.
No.
It was NASA's Unexplained Files.
Oh, okay.
And I do one on Earth too, but one on Earth came later. And so.
And that's they don't talk too much about. They don't do too much there. They're a couple words, right? Couple sentences, pretty much. I mean,
every time they film with me, we go about 14 to 15 straight hours.
oh really? Wow.
And I get the most stories because.
Yeah.
So in every story, I'm making some kind of dumbass comment.
No, I'll tell you, you're my favorite one. I'll tell you, because some of these guys, I mean, you know what it is before they even say it, but they always say, oh, this could be this, it could be that, but you always know it's something
I'm
else.
trying to be the voice of reason, you know.
Yeah.
It's like all them shows about Loch Ness. Never find Loch Ness.
Right. You never find Nessie.
That
So-
thing's never to be found.
Now I also repurpose stuff. This became a moon helmet in another episode, all right? And I did the gold visor, and then my purpose was to show that the moon dust, which I also made, okay, and I actually studied the properties of moon dust, and I actually created real, next to real moon dust.
Is it like glass?
I had to leave out the glass component because I didn't want people to get silicosis when we used to do it. But
It's extremely
Okay.
abrasive.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's
this is the moon dust.
Dude.
See?
it's like almost like Portland cement
Yeah, well.
or like stucco.
You know, it's actually quite a formulation I made here, and it actually does the compression, just
Yeah.
like the real moon dust. All right, it has all the properties of the real stuff. And so what I did was, and you can probably smell it now because it's already it's really, really fine. So does anybody want me to mess up their hair? So the bottom line is that I took that moon dust and I showed how Alan Bean got that mark on his visor that they said was done by a stage light reflecting in the visor.
Yeah.
And I showed how Alan Bean opened his visor. I met Alan Bean. I had dinner with the guy. Okay, and we sat down.
3D cows.
He told me what he was doing, and then what happened was he said, "Oh, I reach up like this and I pull down my visor, the sun visor,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
this."
you show the competition.
So I showed how that would
I can
happen,
never.
and I started doing this. And you see the streaks? Those showed up.
Yeah.
And guess what they look like? They look like the structure supporting the stage.
Yeah.
So I was like, well,
You know,
okay.
I think,
Interesting.
you know, everybody's always trying to say, oh, this is that on NASA stuff. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that NASA's kind of so quiet about other stuff. You know,
NASA's their own worst
NASA,
enemy
yeah,
sometimes.
they're
They are,
crazy
you know, it's like,
Yeah.
I know. I mean, they can't win for losing sometimes with this stuff.
And they don't want to win. They just want to just keep going. You know, they're so paranoid of they're keeping their funding.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a new mission that they want to fund. It's the Europa mission, and it's a mission to actually send a probe down to Jupiter's moon Europa. Well, Europa, like Enceladus, is another moon that's going to be really, really important to
That's
us.
the one with all the cracks, right? The cracks
Well,
with the ocean
yeah,
expanding and that.
yeah. And Enceladus has, in its south pole, Enceladus has the geysers, but that's when it flexes. And that's because as Enceladus goes around Saturn,
But that's enough
not a-
to keep life alive, because it's enough to heat the planet
well, here, yeah,
to
but
where they could have enough heat inside to keep
yeah,
life.
but the heat's generated by this process that has to do with what is called orbital resonance, and that's like, you know, and that's like a moon would ideally like to go around the planet, you know, circularly, right, in a circular orbit. But there's other moons going around, and at Saturn, okay, Enceladus is going around, all right, like this, and then farther out is Dione. All right. Well, as Dione tugs on it, Saturn's moon Enceladus gets pulled a little bit farther out in its orbit for a brief bit. Over time, over billions of years, that's become an elliptical orbit.
Right.
That elliptical orbit means that it gets a little closer to Saturn, a little farther from Saturn. So as it orbits Saturn, it squishes. It gets compressed a little bit by the gravity, then it gets relaxed. A little bit by the gravity, then it gets relaxed. Every single time.
Right.
As it gets compressed, these cracks open up, and the geysers spew. When it doesn't get compressed, they don't. So why did that happen? Well, and why is it even water? Shouldn't it be just solid ice ball? Yes. But because of that flexing, that generates monumental frictional forces and heat inside the planet, which melts the ice inside, which causes what we're seeing.
Right. But now there's no atmosphere there, right?
No.
So the minute,
Technically, no. I mean, we
minute
think about
that
the
it
water vapor.
escapes, it's ice, right?
That's right. And then what Enceladus does is it has its own gravity. It's only 300 miles across, but it still
And it
has
falls
gravity.
back down as snow.
As it's going around Saturn, it just keeps colliding with stuff that it spewed orbits ago. So it keeps replenishing,
Yeah.
you know? And then that's how the process goes. It's gone on and on for billions of years. It's a little dance.
It's really a neat system, and they're learning so much more about it
Yeah.
now. They really are.
And Europa is the same way. Europa is an orbital resonance. It's like a 1-2-4 resonance with the moons, the Galilean moons, right? That you're always showing so brilliantly. That's right.
Yeah, this year's been tough.
Take
Oh,
credit
thanks.
where credit is due.
Thank you.
And then, but that's the thing. Now,
Just to get some water.
you may. I mean, I have water too. And,
Maybe?
Are you whereabouts?
I mean,
It's a matter of fact, don't let the moon dust.
Get us some-
We'll see. Are they little Hubbles?
What?
Are they little Hubbles?
Little Hubble.
They look like some
Yeah.
type of telescope.
Yeah, no, they look like little satellites, little Hubble telescopes. They are. Yep. See, that's the movie person in him.
Yeah, I can spend days.
He loves making sets. Look at these craters he's been making with the 3D
I was
printer.
trying to find Pythagoras.
Hey, hey Mark, you know what you should do? You should 3D print every single crater, and then just
Put it
get
all together.
Put it all together,
I want a globe.
and make yourself a nice little globe with craters on it.
I was actually thinking of doing that with like some of the thinner cross sections because it could heat them and then bend them, and they could conform them.
Yeah, with a heat gun.
But the problem is that I'd have to make them so small
Yeah, that you wouldn't be able
that
to.
the resolution would make it, wouldn't be
Yeah,
a worthwhile project.
that's
The
true.
moon would have to be about
Well, you
70
don't have to
feet
put.
in diameter.
You don't have to put all of them on there. You could just say, okay, this one's right about here, and put like 5 or 6 on there, right?
You can highlight certain areas of the moon too.
Now these
Yeah.
red ones are Mars. Okay, so there's Valles Marineris. Here's a crater on Mars. You notice the difference. Okay, when you look at Martian craters, look at the difference in the topography. This is what weathering does. This is Gusev crater. Okay, where we first landed the probe, and you compare that to like the other craters on the moon.
They're so pristine on the moon because there's nothing to wear away
Yeah,
at
there's
it.
just the
Is that the scarring
yeah, that's Valles Marineris on the moon. You can actually see.
on the Mars?
I'm sorry, Mars. Thank you. And that's just a section of it.
I heard someone ask you when you were on the radio, or when you were on our channel the first time, I think, but about the craters all being almost the same depth.
Yes.
Looks like they're almost,
He kept asking me that.
He kept asking you
People
that.
keep asking me that.
Yeah, and
You explain a lot better than I.
And they're not at the same depth. I mean, even the printing of these models shows that. You
yeah,
know, it's just that
yeah,
from,
this one definitely looks a little
from that
deeper.
right from that distance, things. Oh, she
can't take her anywhere.
hardly.
Can't take these British people anywhere.
Yeah.
By the way, these are out for a specific reason. The specific reason is that each one of you can take one.
Oh,
Oh.
So you just have
I
to.
call Pythagoras. Wait, it's not there.
Well, actually, this one actually has what looks like a guy. It's not Pythagoras. I actually tried to get Pythagoras printed just for you,
Oh yeah.
and unfortunately, it wasn't available. Yeah, they didn't have that section. These are all from the U.S. Geological Survey site.
Paul and Keith get first pick for the work they've been doing.
Totally.
Well, I was going to give the birthday boy his first pick.
Yeah, go ahead,
No.
birthday boy.
Don't
Don't matter to me.
Don't pick the one he just picked.
Yeah, I'm looking.
No, I didn't pick that one. I was just looking at it.
But,
Actually, you have to look real close. There's some real cool ones.
Take your time.
Now, what took the actual geological? Is that the L-Rock's not doing geological stuff, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
that-
These are from the Kaguya and the L-Rock combo
Okay.
map. They're displacement digital terrain maps that they made for these. And so I have a USGS ID that I got by talking to these guys. I got it in, and everybody can do it. And then I started getting online. I learned how to do their mapping the planet stuff, and then I started going to the moon and to Mars and taking sections. I could get much bigger sections, but I wanted to do something that was manageable.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't going to print this big a plate on my printer like and say, look at that. It's like it'll take 14 days.
Right.
Yeah.
But
No, that's awesome how you transfer that over and get that printed out like that.
it does take
That's pretty
it takes
yeah.
some time. I got to take it into a couple of different products, and then I use QGIS, which is a geographical survey software, which is free. And then I massage it in there, and then I take it into Rhino 3D, which is where I do a lot of 3D work for here. And I
You can adjust the I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No.
you can adjust the parameters, right? Like if you wanted to make this deeper or that when you're doing that.
Yes, actually.
That's actually what
Right.
you're doing when you're.
that's Mount St. Helens, and it's not at
Oh.
1x. Okay,
Right.
that's twice as high as it normally is. That's a
Gotcha.
2x exaggeration of the vertical scale.
Yeah. So that's what you do when you. Because 2D is easy, but it's the 3D
Yeah.
part that you're manipulating, right?
Well, yeah, and the thing is, if you took this crater, for instance, this is 2.5. If you took this crater and you did it in one, it would be like Play-Doh.
Yeah. It'd be like
It would be like
Yeah.
very soft.
Yeah. But that's awesome. It's nice and thick. That's
Well, thick is something that gives people something to
Yeah, but you have to go to get the depth. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
But it looks more real-like to me.
I believe that's the one that's actually printing in the printer now. I got another one of those coming up. No. But no, go ahead, man. Take your pick. They're waiting for you, you know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, they're waiting on you.
Well, I can.
So go do your damage, and they will, yeah. So
We get to take them all,
Oh, come on.
or we get one each?
I'm
yeah,
driving
you can
in.
pick one.
Come on, here.
Eric, you can't take them
I know, I
all
can stand
now.
that.
Gee. So greedy.
Yeah, don't look here.
Hey, look at that.
Oh. I can do like this one. I do, but that's the one Paul likes. I don't want to take out.
Mine.
No, go ahead.
That's
I was
mine.
just looking at it.
I was-
It doesn't. No,
that's-
go
I
ahead.
was waiting for someone to say
Mine.
this is actually a
That's mine.
comet, a
Yes.
tritium of Ursa Menko.
I was gonna say.
We went there with the Rosetta mission. This is
Yeah.
from.
I
I
was
got
That's that
that.
crazy looking,
Yeah, I got this from.
almost double comet.
I got this from the
I think I'm gonna take
ESA.
the thicker
I
one.
want that one. That's mine.
Now,
Go
what
for it.
do
He's
you
got another
think
one
that
going
was-
of that
actually
too.
started out two bodies and it
Only because of the
together- or
detail.
no, that's
Mhm.
peanuts
Yeah,
one, right?
Mhm.
Plus, you can do
Right.
a lot of.
It's the one with the Philly.
But-
A lot of white.
Comets, it turns out, like some asteroids are actually rubble.
No, like you said, it's got more-
mutual gravitational attraction, so it's not really that strong.
Yeah.
So, if we were to say, go blow it up, okay, it might not take a lot to actually make it go.
Yeah.
But then we would get rained on by
Cool.
billions of fragments
Cool.
about the size of
It does.
Yeah.
Volkswagens.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Many of them would reach the Earth.
I don't even know
and
what
start
this is.
fires in the atmosphere.
You're gonna find out real
Yeah,
soon.
the one
Yeah.
with the
Into
Philly
two
lands,
sections
and they
and it
lost
goes like
remember?
this. Not gonna happen.
The Rosetta mission.
That's right. That's the Rosetta one.
Oh,
Where it lost,
Keith
they
was
lost it
asking
because it
about
was
your
solar powered
miniatures
and
over
everything
there. Are
landed in the
those
wrong
the,
place.
I was like, are they mini Hubbles?
mini Hubbles?
No, actually, you know what? That's don't forget to pick one, guys. These satellites are actually. I worked on a satellite project, and I was going out to Arizona like every month for a week, and I was photographing the satellite being built in the high bay of the General Dynamics facility out there.
I want that one.
And when I was photographing it, the guys would come up to me, and I had clearance at that time. Obviously, this is a cleared shop, at least it was. After my surgery, I let the clearance lapse because it was just too much to have DIS come in here once a year and just upset your life.
Yeah.
So I ended up letting it lapse. But before I did that, I was out there doing this photo session each month, and I would take pictures of the real thing, and then I'd go sit with the guy and we'd vet the photos, and he'd say, okay, you're going to be the only one having this card, no one can touch it except you, don't pass it away, okay, don't pass it around, let me tell you what you can't show. And he proceeded to say things like, that's classified, that's classified, that's classified, that's classified. It's like, well, okay, so why don't we just pretend and then make up my own little boxes? He goes, yes, make your own little boxes. You can show these. See, these are the
sensors? Or-
No, these are the spinning discs that are actually what they use now. No more retro rockets. They spin the discs at different speeds, and they generate torques on the whole.
Oh, so
satellite.
that's what spins it
Right.
and moves it.
The mirror's not in here.
Just
sorry.
that doesn't thrust it. That just rotates it.
Right. It's just meant to be able to allow it to hold station, and that's what the Kepler was doing. The Kepler had 4 of these. Okay, and these they're called control wheels. And thing is, it lost 2, but it could operate on 3. So it no longer had the ability to point accurately, so it could never quite get over there. And it's like the torque couldn't be generated to make it go that one particular direction that it needed to go desperately. So Kepler was done because of a mechanical failure. Now, I worked on this for it was like 3 months to get the basis of it done. I did not make every wrinkle exact at all, no. But these are star guiders. Actually, these things would catch images of stars, and they would help the satellite to know where it was, to make sure it knew where it was positioned. So if it saw the stars that it needed to see, then it knew it was in the right position. So up here they'd be different. Down here they'd be different. They're different. So these 2 star guiders here would actually be perfect. They're called star trackers.
I got a question for you. One quick. Do they ever point Hubble at the Earth? Do you think they could get a picture? I don't think it could, right?
I don't.
It's not that type of a telescope, right?
I mean, every telescope can image something. It's just a matter of, and I'm sure Hubble can image the Earth, but from the direction it's pointing now to make it go the other way,
Yeah.
that's expensive.
Yeah.
But I know it sounds silly, but that's a big. That thing is as big as the.
It's like a bus.
Longer than these garages.
Yeah. It's huge.
And you're asking it to turn around and use very precious, fuel, because the Hubble I don't think has these control wheels. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But either way, it's using its power budget, and they don't. I don't think they point at the Earth. If they do, I'd be.
You think
I
they're
wouldn't
going
be
away from
surprised.
the optical telescopes now and back into radio telescopes more? Do you think?
I don't know. The James Webb's going up
I can't wait.
later next year, and
I'm gonna be tracking that thing.
that's
man.
that's a multi-mirror telescope.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to image it because it'll be sitting at a Lagrange point. It's not going to really be moving too far, But so I went out there and did all these photos, and then I came back, sanitized my photos, sanitized my model, made sure that what goes out was public. Did a whole bunch of them. These are extras. And then they had solar panels on here too, which actually...
Yeah, because you can't have one without power.
Yeah, this is a segment of its solar panel that I made.
Cool.
Doesn't that look real?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I made it on the laser cutter over there. That's a laser cutter. And I actually laser cut all these tiny little discs. I just did this for a movie too, actually, called Approaching the Unknown or Approaching the Beyond or something. It was about a manned mission that's heading out to deep space. So this, and then I laser cut a mask to do the tiny little circuit corners, which are these at the corner. Then they lay it on here very carefully, and just go psst, psst, and that was it, done. So this was actually a segment of that solar panel. It catches the sun, catches the glare, really looks nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, that solar panel would be attached to that, when it was finished. So when I came back, I got a call from the CEO of the company in Virginia that was doing this. Because this was a aerial telescope, orbital telescope that was called GeoEye, previously OrbView. Okay, and OrbView and GeoEye were known for looking at the Earth and doing reconnaissance and defense work and stuff. So
Maybe known to you.
well,
Yeah.
To anyone that looks it up, I mean, you can get a clue.
Yeah.
Well, then the guy said to me, he says, "Hey, Mark, would you like to see who you're actually working for?"
Oh, you got the
And I went, "Oh yeah, sure."
Which one was it?
And he sent me a photo, and he says, "You can't show this on your website or anything." And he showed me the photo of the people I was working for, and I couldn't believe it because next to him, holding my model, was Sergey Brin and Larry Page.
Oh wow.
That's the Google Earth satellite. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so they're really working for the Defense Department. Yeah. That makes sense because they got that building out at Moffett Field for rent-free.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But, so that's where that came from, and those are the extras.
What are you doing with the tanks? Are those for an old project or something you're working on now?
No, my son, who's the movie maker,
Yeah.
he's recreating the Battle of Cologne. And these are the
Board,
effects
too.
tanks that we're going to use. We can use small ones like this because we're going to film them at high speed, so they're going to be slow motion. And again, he's in college for this. He's not doing this as a professional. So we have to build the buildings and all that, and it's going to be out here in the driveway, which is big.
Yeah.
And we're going to set up the fundamental streets of Cologne
Nice.
and film it with lighting and all that stuff. It's going to look like a freaking blitzkrieg out
Well,
there.
by the time you get it into editing, then that's when all the magic happens, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
get
well,
all the
we're-
basic shots down, and
I'm a big in-camera guy. I like
Yeah.
to have in-camera effects do what they can do if they
Yeah.
can. That's why Alvin out there is a fully working model and
Right.
not a CG
Yeah.
duplicate. Okay, it operated underwater, and I operated it. There was a black tarp over the special effects tank, over at it was Ealing Studios in London, and I in fact my room where they had me set up was Vincent Price's dressing room.
Oh, wow.
I was in a famous dressing room. Like, wow. I
Yeah.
could almost feel the macabre presence. It was so cool. So anyway, I had to operate it through that tarp. I couldn't see it. Normally, you look at your radio control stuff.
Yeah.
But the cameraman had the live feed, and I was watching the live feed from the camera. Now he's swimming all over the place under there, doing all these different angles, and I had to still keep going straight.
Watching it.
So there had to be a lot of predictive behavior analysis on my part to make sure I knew where that was going.
Yeah.
And I sometimes screwed up and sometimes go right into the side or collide with the bottom, and then we have to redo the shot. But we ended up getting it. I got it. It took a couple days. And that's just one of the models we made. We made Trieste, which is that, it's a large diver. It's actually out there. You missed it. It's behind the door when you came in. And I'll show it to you. And then we made a thing called the Curve, which was a Navy deep sea diving sled.
Are you guys working on the new Blade Runner?
No.
Oh, it was Douglas, wasn't it?
Doug did the old Blade Runner, but he's not in the new one. It's mostly CG.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Doug's not really CG. He uses it where needed, and our movie used it where needed, and it really, it's a good effect.
Yeah.
But most of it was all just,
Have you got anything from Close Encounters?
I don't.
Darn
Doug does. I mean, up in his office, next to his Oscar, he's got all kinds of stuff up there, which is really cool. Stuff from when he was a kid too, which is really neat.
it. Wow.
Now, this nondescript yellow globe is actually Venus, and it was supposed to be used for What on Earth to show how different frequencies work. Like when you look at Venus, this is how it looks to your eye.
To me, it looks purple when I look at it.
Well, it depends.
To me, yeah.
Because
Whenever I look at it, it looks purple. I don't know if that's my camera color or what.
if it's you're looking at in the refractor, if it's not an apochromatic
I'm
refractor,
looking with the mirror camera or with the Cassegrain.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean it's a mirror telescope, but yeah, it doesn't look like that.
okay, but that's how it looks to the eye.
Uh-huh.
But if you actually look at it with ultraviolet, okay, it actually in the ultraviolet you actually see
Oh, wow.
That's what I
you
see.
see clouds, okay,
Oh, God.
and the cloud structure is something that it doesn't show up unless
Cool.
you're looking at the ultraviolet light that's coming from the
Yeah.
planet. Like that's where those get excited by the ultraviolet and actually reflect ultraviolet, which you can't see with your eye.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, so that's the
I've
Algae.
never seen the clouds. Yeah,
Algae,
it's hard to
algae,
get Venus more than a little sliver. I'll show you.
yeah, no,
Because it's like the moon; it's in phases,
yeah.
and it's I've never seen it in more than a little sliver.
Well, yeah, I mean, and phases, of course, is one of those things that you can use against the flat earthers when they say, "Oh, well,
Pop up.
Bless them.
I know, right? Who the heck thinks that the Earth is flat?
I was thinking on my
That
way.
is the dumb. I'm sorry. I hope there's no flat earthers around here, but
Hell no.
hey,
The positive way I was thinking to look at it is at least they're challenging their surroundings and questioning. I can appreciate that.
oh well."
I
now
don't.
to me,
But the
I don't know
logic
why, but it
sucks.
always comes
No,
out
they
like
don't
that.
have. They
It's
just.
like a purple.
They're lacking something.
Fuzzy.
But at least they're
I get a
questioning
yellow
it.
tint.
Questioning
No, no, I
it.
hear where you come from.
You know.
Yes. I agreed.
I understand that they want to question things, but
They're
It's
irritating.
crazy.
they're questioning things by totally abdicating science, and I just can't tolerate that.
Yeah.
And I'm not really kind to them.
And the hollow Earth is, of course, different, but
Different but the same.
yeah. Well, they think it's not flat. I mean, they think there's a hole up in Antarctica that you can fly through and come out the other end.
You know why? Because they looked at Google Earth, and saw stitching artifacts from when they tried to put everything all together at the pole, which of course doesn't work. It makes a little black spot. They said, "That's where you go in." I mean, a really sharp triangle.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. Okay,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. There's triangular imagery there. No, it's a big hole. I think,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
hole, all right.
Yeah, and the moon rings like a bell because it's hollow, not because it doesn't have any water. You know, I mean, it's still dry, right? I mean, that's why the moon rings like a bell.
It rings like
Just
a bell
like the Earth
because
does, I remember you explaining.
yeah, it rings like a bell because it's solid. You know, there's nothing molten in the moon anymore.
Right,
So
and there's no
solid
water, nothing
conducts
in there,
very
no
nice.
molten, nothing
Yeah.
liquid.
Oh, it's not molten inside
moon?
the moon? It's all solid?
Yeah, it's still hot down there, but it's certainly not going to be like the Earth where
Not
we have
like
a-
the Earth.
Our core is solid. It's not molten. The outer core is what's molten.
Ah.
It's weird on our Earth. I mean, see that outer core moving around the solid iron core.
Because of the magnetism, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it
And
generates
motion.
electric currents,
Yeah.
and that's the dynamo that creates our electric field, and the magnetic field. I mean, and that magnetosphere is what protects us from the sun. So any other planets on around other stars have to have that same magnetic field, or they're not going to survive.
Yep. And in the tether incident, they underestimated the power of the energy that line would absorb, right? And that's why it melted and broke off.
I don't know if it melted or just snapped.
I think it melted.
I
They
don't-
said
I don't
it was
think-
overcharged and melted, broke.
Oh yeah, it was they were putting electricity through it, right?
Yeah,
And
they underestimated the power.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was an experimental blunder.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it still managed to break regardless, and people took off of it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that guy in Las Vegas tried to take a swing at me because
That's
I literally
insane.
he unfortunately he died. But
Oh.
and, yeah, I didn't kill him.
I'm probably going to do what most people do and avoid it. Anyone that wants popularity, anyone looking for its popularity in in the industry, if you bring that up, you could lose a lot of people.
Yeah, and when I
That's some obsessed
I
people.
was doing that talk out there, and I told people that we lose Keith.
David
Yeah, I know
Sarita.
where it was.
It's probably out on a smoke break.
Probably having a smoke break, yeah.
But when I did that talk, I mentioned it and I showed it when I showed the video that we did, which you apparently saw.
Yep.
And the thing was, I showed this because I was trying to show how low light cameras operate and how people can make mistakes in judging what's happening.
Yeah.
They're not familiar with on-orbit activities. They don't know that the shuttle literally had a debris cloud around it the whole time it was in orbit. A debris cloud.
But I mean, the
It
way
was
that
shedding debris all the time. It
when,
was brought up
when
from
that
the Earth.
astronaut
Yeah.
was zooming in on that 12 miles, what was it called?
12-mile tether.
Tether,
And it was 80. It was actually 80 kilometers away at the time.
Yeah, it was so far away,
Less than a
and,
centimeter in diameter.
and a little speck of dust. Was,
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
how can you? Yeah,
That
it's
wire
just-
is
Really?
less
you
than
could
a
tell it
centimeter
was
in
all.
diameter.
It was
Yeah.
all. It was those were
Wow.
not UFOs.
It was
You
stuff
could tell
dancing
it.
around in the foreground, and then
Yeah.
the thing that gave it away was actually when you saw the little donut hole in the center of those objects.
Yeah.
That told me, oh, he's using a mirror lens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they're
it's out
all
of focus.
Out of
Yeah.
focus.
When you lose a mirror lens, it gets out of
There's-
focus. It does do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I mean,
I've got-
anyone with a Schmidt-Castle brain like you, like
Yeah.
me, knows this.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I said, okay, I can't recreate it because I don't have a mirror lens. I'm not going to buy one just to show this, but I will use a regular telephoto. So when they had me go to Dallas, I set up a studio out there with a tether, and I did my mobile where I hung all these things, and I made a shuttle window. And then I had the cameraman, and the cameraman said, now what do I do? I said, okay, here's what you do. I want you to, first of all, focus on the tether, okay? And set the lighting so that the tether is just overexposed,
Yeah.
because that's what it was.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the foreground objects, pull focus to that and focus on those things. And he says, okay, there we are. And you can see them floating, and the tether's almost not even visible. It's sort of fuzzy
Yeah.
in the background, right? It was only 35 feet away, not 90 and 80 kilometers. So anyway, he's focusing on those, and you see them on their little strings dancing around. They're
Yeah.
little clay balls.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all it was. And I said, all right, now, what I want you to do is slowly push the focus out to that tether and watch when I touch this mobile and make these things move around. Watch how these things now, way in the foreground, are going to look like they're going behind that bright
They
lit
did
tether.
too.
And they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I said, this is the effect.
It looked
And now
exactly like
that's
that.
all we're done.
No, I was trying to take pictures of the different sun angles with that little crater piece that he gave me. I couldn't get it just right. I couldn't get it to stand up in the sun just right.
Oh, did you pick your crater?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he picked his crater, guys. Go ahead.
I got a comment.
Oh, you got your comment?
You got,
Do you know the name of it?
Just
I was
ahead.
like trying to stand it up in the
It's
corner.
a CP something or other.
yeah, it's a tritium Rosamengo. 3 times
I know it's
faster.
the Rosetta.
I don't know. That's
Yeah,
a tough.
Rosetta.
I'm
There's a
gonna-
video on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, you can.
Is one of those the I can never say it.
No, Aristarchus?
Yeah.
No.
Now, they say that there's volcanism over near that crater, but I watch it quite a bit whenever it's around, but I've never seen anything yet. I haven't seen anything yet.
I mean, the moon, there may be some residual stuff.
That's what I'm saying. They say. I don't know for a fact that it happens.
You know what? And the truth is, I don't either. I'm not really up on the lunar seismology and so forth yet. I'm actually planning to go.
Thank you.
I'm sure, of course. I want to get a degree in
Go ahead,
planetary
Eric.
science.
Sign it
That's
from
the
the
next thing I want to do.
Let's sign it for you. Won't you, Mark?
I don't think you can.
Yeah. The Sharpie or something?
That's what you want? Huh? That's the
I
one?
don't know how to sign. I just put my X on mine. See? Put my X on it.
There you go. Well, I have a silver Sharpie. You can use that.
There you go.
Believe it or not, I'm
No,
gonna
she
go
was
with Mount
talking
St.
about
Helens.
Alright.
you sign
Have
it.
you sign it?
Have you
for
sign
Oh,
it?
St. Helens,
Oh,
yeah.
And I said, I don't think I can
That's
have you
awesome.
sign that.
Sorry, so you're all set. You got your thing.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. You got the comment, which is good.
I've got my poo.
Or peanut. I call it the peanut comment.
Yeah, that's it.
Good.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to have maybe come all the way out here. I want you to have something. You know, I think
Well, it's so cool because I was out there trying to
And
like
thank
get
you
the
for
difference
that.
on it, and like you tilt that thing just right, and it's like that's it. That's how you see it.
Yeah.
You know.
And you can do
Break
the
the
low
shadow.
angles and see all the art
Yeah.
illusions, and that's what I did with that. You know, with that dust.
That's exactly
I
what I
mean-
was doing out there. And I think the kid like
I'm trying to
laughed
find
at something.
the
Okay,
and I'm sitting
I'll
out
be
there
right
with
back.
the
House on here. There's a house.
All right, so I'm following Mark to his observatory, and we're gonna take an inside look, because I can edit this, you know, Mark?
Yeah, that's fine.
So here we go.
So we're gonna go in and come ducking under.
So we're gonna duck underneath here.
Wow. And open the shutter a little bit. And you gonna come in? Oh yeah. I was hoping if we were gonna come in, it's fine.
Wow.
So
Right now he's rotating it. It looks like something from
Say your
Star
last
Wars.
D'Antonio.
D'Antonio.
Well,
That's
D'Antonio,
spelled.
doesn't matter. D-A-N-T-O-N-I.
And here's his telescope.
I do what I do. I don't. Yeah.
But you pronounce it D'Antonio.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Well, no, because I heard it like some people say it D'Antonio, and other people say D'Antonio, and I would say D'Antonio. I was like, am I saying it wrong?
As long as it's a C and not a K, I'm fine.
Yeah,
How we know?
yeah, that I know.
Alright, so this is the this is a 10-inch telescope. It's already in what we call parked position, so it's ready for the night. All I have to do is turn it on, wait a few seconds, and then I can go to use it and send it to objects. Because it's on a solid pier, it's already ready to be, it's already aligned with the North Star, Polaris is not the North Star, it's not the alignment. The celestial pole is where we align it, and it's already aligned on the celestial pole very, very accurately. This top here is level, exactly level, and it's exactly angled just so the North Star is directly along those forks. So we have it going right to the North Star, and so I turn it on, and now I'm perfectly ready to go, and I'm all set to image for the night or whatever. And I could typically, I'll take my little hand controller when we're all set to image, and I'll have the camera on here and everything, which is extra weight, but it still works. I'll just take this little hand control, and I'll dial in something, so I don't want to go to a special object in the sky. And the telescope will just go zzz, and go there.
That's awesome.
And usually it shows up in the field of view, which is not seen through an eyepiece. It's actually seen on the TV screen, because I'm sending out through the camera, I'm sending out the HDMI signal, and it's going to the capture card in the computer where it's being displayed on the screen, which can also be streamed live on the internet, which is what we're going to do. This is going to be the home of SkyTour Livestream, and this is for now. Then a couple years from now, this entire building, telescope and all, gets moved to Arizona, where it's going to be under a dark sky site. I mean, a true dark sky site.
That's gonna be amazing.
It is.
It's pretty dark right here.
It's nice here, but it's not nearly as dark as the true
Arizona.
dark sky sites. When you walk out and you can't see your face in front of your hand because it's too dark. Face in front of your what? That's what you want.
That's what you want.
Here I can still see my hand.
Yeah.
I don't want to see my hand.
Yeah.
My hand I don't want to see.
To me, this is a dark.
Well, when you're coming from Miami, you know, of course, anything's darker.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at just the moon, you don't care.
Yeah.
The only
Exactly.
thing you care about is the turbulence in the air due to the buildings and to the traffic and the air traffic and
Heat of
stuff.
the day and the concrete.
Yes.
I get a lot of air turbulence.
Right, and the concrete after days of baking in the sun, and of course, you know, the
Yeah.
cooling, the
Not to mention the ocean's right there, and I'm always getting.
the adiabatic cooling is just going to cause all kinds of ripples, and you get that stuff going up. So, and when the moon's on the horizon, if it's over the water, you know,
Yep. I get a
then
lot.
you're not going to see a very clear moon. And then the telescope is in a dome which has a floor that's actually anti-fatigue rubber tiles, which is really nice. It actually feels great when you're in socks. So like if you take your shoes off and you're in a dome and you start walking around and you're in socks, it's like having a therapy on your feet. It's really, really nice.
And you're planning to use the A7S II on this, right?
That is correct. That's I've got adapters, and I bought adapters to put it right through here, but I've also got adapters coming so that I can attach it into eyepiece projection with an eyepiece that Paul also has, and try that out. And the eyepiece actually has a sliding barrel on it, and that sliding barrel can effectively change the view, which is kind of cool. It can kind of look like a zoomed view. It's not a zoom eyepiece, that's very different. But it can actually make, you have a range in there that you can actually do this with. So you can get a slight zoom view. The other thing is, on the camera, on the A7S II, there is a button I can push, and I can get 4 times closer, just like that, in an instant.
The zoom?
Yeah, it's not a zoom, okay? I'm not talking about a zoom. I'm talking about the focus assist that's on that camera. You can actually press a little round button at the top, bink, and a little frame appears in the window, in which you center over the object you want to see, and you hit it again, and it zooms into that. Hit it again, it zooms even closer. Now, if you're focused, well, you can go and set this thing to, you know, guide or very, very, very slow movement, and you can actually zip around and see the object from there, zoomed. Now, it's a digital process, but we're also looking at, you know, we're looking at 4K output, which is obviously a very high resolution output. So we have the option to do that, and that's something that's going to help this go into a place where people want to see a zoomed view of something, just go right to a zoom view. And with nothing happening, no changes have to occur, they just see it happen, then it goes away. The other thing is, I have it set up now so that when I go to review the photos that we took, if it's something that's too faint to see, we'll take a photo right then and there, and you'll see it right then and there. Luckily with that camera, I don't have to take a picture of more than 10 seconds, 20 seconds at the most, 30 seconds on the outside to get the full details of something I want to see. Sure, there's objects that are way fainter, but there's a vast majority that aren't. And so we can actually take a still picture right then and there, look at it, and see what it looks like right there on the screen.
And that can be controlled through your phone as well, right?
I can control the camera from an iPad or my phone. I'm going to be controlling the telescope through this connector, which the unit is arriving literally minutes from now.
Mark, you don't have your Wi-Fi thing now?
I don't.
No?
No.
I got one I want to give to you. The only thing you have to do if you want to use it, you're going to have to download the app. So, if you want to use it, you can
Is it
have
this? Well, I bought one. It's the UPS is delivering it today.
Okay, it plugs into the auxiliary input, and it puts out a Wi-Fi signal, and you just get on your iPad.
But you use this, right? And it plugs into this.
No, mine plugs into your auxiliary on your telescope.
I mean the auto guider or the
The auto guider or whichever one you want to put it on.
Which one is it? Is it
I'll have to go grab it.
Sky-Fi or something like that?
Yeah, I got the app on my phone.
Yeah, it's like SkyMap or something like that.
It's close to, it's SkyFi, I think it's called.
Yeah. Did you get it from Orion?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe I'm getting the same thing from UPS in just a few minutes.
Okay. Well,
But
if you don't get it,
I
you
will.
know it's coming today, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out for delivery. I checked.
Okay.
I was hoping to be here before. I was hoping to be here for you. I
I'm
didn't
the
know
same
that.
way I'm a kid when I'm waiting for the delivery.
Oh, you know it, man. But the nice thing is I'll be able to control with my iPad. I'll be able to set that up. The iPad will be in here kind of in a semi-permanent. I'll take it in at night, obviously, but it'll be a semi-permanent mount, so I can just actually have the iPad sitting here. And I can just punch up things I want to see, want to go to. And then on the computer, that's going to be used for streaming, but the iPad and its little private Wi-Fi connection it makes is going to be responsible for controlling the telescope.
Right.
that can happen anywhere.
So you don't have no issues as far as condensation or some type of moisture that can develop in here?
Well, if you notice, I have rust that appeared on these bolts already, and I do. This here is a wonderful silica gel canister. It's a high capacity. It does 300 square feet, which is way more than this rather. And I just sit this right here, and then I cover the telescope, right, which covers down to about here, and all the dry is gonna, it's gonna affect it. And the nice thing is that this thing was $20, and when you're done using it and it's all used up, you just plug it in and rejuvenate it.
Wow.
Really?
So it's a
Wow.
Change the charcoal?
No, it's actually a silica gel.
Oh, silica.
You can see it through the window.
Wow.
You see
That is so
little
cool.
beads.
Wow.
Yeah. And when it's dry, it's yellow. When
Just
it's
like the
wet,
same stuff they put in your little packet.
it's a little packets, right? But this is a major size, and this has got some weight to it. So
Especially underneath the telescope cover.
yes,
Really gonna.
and you bake it to get the crystals back to
And I think you were speaking earlier with Paul and Keith about being able to use a computer using software that can actually control the movement of the telescope.
Yeah, and in fact, I did that. I actually had this plugged into the telescope before, but this cable on the floor, and I didn't route it, and I didn't have a permanent routing for it, and I don't want to accidentally trip over the cable. So I opted for the Wi-Fi approach with the iPad, and like I said, that's going to be here. And so all the cables that control the telescope will be all right here.
Good. That's
all
good.
up on the pier. And the only thing I'm going to do, which I'm going to 3D print.
iPad holder.
Well, actually, I'm gonna go into Rhino 3D, the program to build 3D objects, and I'm gonna make an eyepiece holder for here, a tray.
Nice.
All right, and then I'm also gonna make a holder for the iPad, which is gonna be set up so we can just hook to this thing and be in level, And if it has to be held on with Velcro, that's fine.
You know what's great? Because by the outside, there's a lot of room in here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the chair here. I mean, he's going to put a camera.
I brought an observatory tent. We're gonna set up
Oh,
in
cool.
the house.
Cool.
So I hope it says it's the same size, basically as this.
Yeah, it should be.
So should be close.
Wow.
Who makes that?
I don't know. It was pretty expensive. It was like $400, but I don't know. I just bought it on eBay. That's I know.
Alright.
I don't know. I'll have to look. And I've never set it up yet.
This is a beautiful setup. This is
Eight
gorgeous.
times more than that is this. So well.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I probably could. I'm thinking about getting one.
This
Just have
comes
to paint it black so no one sees it up there.
right.
This was.
And then when you open it,
hot as heck.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
and you're gonna be like a friggin' oven.
It's hot in here right now. Trust me.
Well, yeah, only because we haven't let the sun bleed out.
Exactly.
The heat, and we're gonna when you guys leave, I'll probably, if it's not gonna rain, I'm gonna open this, leave it open, acclimate,
You'll be in here tonight, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would. He's
Well,
going to be living out here.
You're gonna try to.
I'm gonna get the Wi-Fi running. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
He's
So
waiting.
you could be maybe up and running by next week with a couple streams, you think, or?
Well, actually, if the Wi-Fi runs tonight, then I could literally stream on the next clear night because that's the only piece of equipment I'm waiting for.
Call me if you need help.
I gotta just bring the podcast stuff out here and figure out where to put it and power requirements and stuff.
Where are you gonna stream on the KGRA website, or where would I go to watch it?
I'm
YouTube.
going to stream on YouTube initially.
Okay, initially,
But then it's
okay.
going to go, according to Race, he wants me to go to KGRA TV with it.
But that's not going to happen till the fall.
Before you go on a stream, just do me a favor. Let Keith know so he can let me know so we can watch your first one.
All right. And
Absolutely.
and then belittle
We
and
want to watch your
criticize.
first one. No. Hey.
Look, I can tell you this, all right? I'm
You
gonna
know how many cameras? I have a box of cameras. I try them, junk. Try them, junk.
I'm just looking to see where he could put his little podcaster.
Closet later. I got a closet
Here.
in there that's like that.
And just wait, and you're gonna see because some cameras don't let you take the digital effects off of the.
Actually, I'm going to stop streaming because I'm going to see something about his podcaster because I've had the same one.
Awesome.
All right, so that's Mark D'Antonio, everyone. We're inside of his observatory, and you'll be seeing a lot of his work really soon on YouTube. Check out Mark D'Antonio or Mark D'Antonio on YouTube, and stay tuned for the unbelievable sky tours that he's going to be giving very soon on YouTube. So everybody, till next time, have a great one. Bye.
Face in front of your what?